What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode on my channel. As always, I'm Jay, and guys, I am back with another review of a Blu-ray collection. This time, I'm talking about the Criterion release of the Showa-Era Godzilla films. So in this video, guys, I'm going to be breaking down what you get as part of the set, my pros, my cons, comparing it to some other collections and iterations we've gotten on our home media release of these original Godzilla films, and give you my 2 cents on whether or not this collection is worth it for you to grab and spend your money on, whether you're a movie fan or a Godzilla fan. But before we get into that, guys, make sure you drop a like, comment, and subscribe if you do like this video. And as always, guys, if you are subscribed, make sure you hit that bell button. That way you never miss a moment of my content. But without further ado, guys, let's jump into my review of the Showa-Era Godzilla Blu-ray collection from Criterion. So like I said, on this collection of Blu-rays here, Criterion has masterfully been able to collect all of the original 15 films, where some of the collections didn't have the rights to actually bring in all of them, and even some of the films we haven't actually seen been released in home media since they had been released on DVD well, maybe close to 2 decades ago, when Columbia actually had some other rights to them. Two that stand out particularly are Son of Godzilla and Godzilla vs. MechaGodzilla, the original film, which actually go for buku bucks on eBay. And that's just with regular DVDs that have been pre-owned or brand new that haven't been opened and whatnot, which is how rare those movies were. Overall, guys, I do enjoy the pop art aspect to it. I think that the cover looks great, and you get what you're looking at right here for every single movie, because every single movie gets its own write-up and its own little kind of synopsis and cast listing, and I think it looks gorgeous and awesome. And guys, when we're actually looking at the Blu-ray discs themselves, you actually only get 8 discs in the set, the 8th being the supplemental or special features. And the weird thing that I thought about this, at least in my perspective, was that they actually compile a few different films on some of these discs. So the first disc has the original Godzilla Criterion version of it, but some of these other ones actually have 2, maybe even up to 3 films per disc at times. And the Japanese version, the original Japanese version, I believe, is actually on the 8th disc for King Kong vs. Godzilla, which I did find a bit odd. But I do believe the English dub and the original Japanese version of all the films are compiled, along with the supplemental interviews and other special features that you find. And Criterion does a very good job at including special features whenever it comes to any DVD release or Blu-ray release that they do, and usually has a masterful transfer. And the big selling point here is the fact that, again, you're getting all 15 films, whereas you wouldn't be able to get that in previous collections, as I'm about to show you in a second. Alright, guys, so here we actually have the Toho Collection, I believe it's called, which was released about maybe within the past 10 years, and this is all just DVDs from the Godzilla Showa era. Again, this does not include all 15 films. This actually does have a few gaps and a few films missing in this collection, which again, I did find odd, especially since Toho owns all of them. But apparently, again, with the distribution rights between different movies in the States and whatnot, I guess they couldn't compile all of them and get them all released here. Whereas, again, in this one, you have the full set of 15 films. But in this one, just for comparison, this box set was released where it was all primarily DVDs. They had some nice individual covers here dealing with all of the original kind of posters. They have the official Toho stickers, and in some very, very beautiful, actually, covers and cases, which I actually do enjoy quite a bit because, you know, me being a collector of physical media, it is pretty awesome. And I just want to show you really quickly the original Gojira as it was done in this is actually very masterful and has the nicest and best out of all the covers, if I do say so myself. Definitely something that I would have preferred more of for me personally, but then again, this being the fact that it is a different collection from a different company, I can't be too upset that they wanted to do something different with the pop art aspect. I think that this is still worth keeping, despite having upgraded and gotten the remasters and the newer versions on Blu-ray. Other than that, though, like I said, it was definitely hard to find all these in the wild, especially since some of these, the 2 that I mentioned before, Son of Godzilla and MechaGodzilla vs. Godzilla, the original film, actually hadn't had an official Blu-ray release. But here's the funny thing though, if you looked at some of the other ones, some of them did have a little bit of a hard time coming to Blu-ray, and even then, some of them were actually out of print and very hard to find. Namely, Destroy All Monsters and Godzilla vs. Megalon, which included Jet Jaguar actually stealing the show from Godzilla. And these two right here were actually done by Tokyo Shock, but the thing about it is that at a certain point, Toho actually had them do a cease and desist order, so a lot of their kind of supplements and everything had actually been discontinued, and they did release the basic films on Blu-ray, but there really wasn't much in the way of the actual special features themselves, and honestly, it was a bit pricey when you're looking at the price point for you know, having to get these and hunt these down on places such as eBay or whatever, even if they're brand new, since they don't have the supplements and the special features. Other than that, like I said, they had already released Godzilla, the Criterion Collection version on Blu-ray a while back, which includes the original Americanized version with the character of Steve Martin. And up until now, all you had was the American version of King Kong vs. Godzilla on Blu-ray. That's right, only the English dub. So with all the different features lined out here and kind of the comparisons out of the way, is this worth getting for a typical film fan or Godzilla fan? Honestly, I would say that if you're not really into the hokiness and cheesy nature of the original Godzilla kind of Showa era, then this is not the set worth it for you. As a matter of fact, it's even been made known that they're going to be releasing these separately at some point in time, at least from what I've heard, through the Criterion Collection as well. So, if the price tag here, which runs to $150, probably a couple $100 now since they've actually been released, and I got mine on a pre-order for, you know, the regular cheaper price, it does seem like it might not be a good point to buy this, especially if you don't really care for some of the wackier entries. But all in all, I am glad that I bought it and definitely eager to rewatch these. But overall, definitely worth your dollar. Again, if you are a diehard Godzilla fan, you have to get this if you haven't gotten it already. If you're kind of a nice little normie as far as Godzilla goes, you don't really need this. And plus, from what I hear, they're actually going to be releasing all 15 of these films individually on Blu-ray and DVD. On the Criterion Collection as well, but that's something that I've heard rumblings of, so if you want to, wait for that, and I do believe that's going to happen. But all in all, guys, as a collector, this is fantastic. I highly recommend it, again, if you are a Godzilla fan, or if you're a fan of the original kaiju monster films that inspired the rest of them. Definitely want to get your hands on these. But all in all, guys, that's all I have to say for my review of the Godzilla Showa-Era Collection. So thank you so much for taking time to watch this. Like I said, like, comment, and subscribe. And guys, as always, I'm Jay, and until next time, take care. Bye.